The symbols of Portugal are official and unofficial flags. Icons are cultural expressions that are emblematic, representative or otherwise characteristic of Portugal and of its culture. Flags. The present national flag of Portugal was officially introduced in 1911, after the introduction of the Republican regime in the 5th of October 1910 revolution. It is the latest in a series of national flags since the 12th century. Since at least the 15th century, the flags of Portugal had been known as Bandeira das Queenas, the quina being each one of the 5 escutcheons of the Portuguese coat of arms that are the central motif of the flag. Heraldry. Anthem. A Portuguesa is the national anthem of Portugal. It was composed by Alfredo Keil and written by Enrique Lopes de Mendonça during the resurgent nationalist movement ignited by the 1890 British ultimatum to Portugal concerning its African colonies. Used as the marching song of the failed Republican Rebellion of January 1891 in Porto, it was adopted as the national anthem of the newborn Portuguese Republic in 1911, replacing O Hino da Carta, the anthem of the deposed constitutional monarchy. Cultural. Belem Tower is a fortified tower located in the civil parish of Belem in Lisbon. The tower was built in the early 16th century and is a prominent example of the Portuguese Manueline style. By its characteristics, is one of the most distinctive monuments of the world and thus considered an icon of Portugal. Os Lusíadas is an epic poem written by Camões in the 16th century. It is regarded as Portugal's national epic. Fado is a mainly melancholic music genre which can be traced to the 1820s in Portugal, but probably with much earlier origins. There are 2 main varieties, the Lisbon Fado and the Coimbra Fado. It is considered the national music genre of Portugal, with Amália Rodrigues its queen. The Calçada Portuguesa is a traditional style pavement used for many pedestrian areas in Portugal, while it can also be found throughout former Portuguese colonies such as Brazil and Macau. Flora and fauna. The Quercus suber, commonly called the corkel, is a medium-sized evergreen oak tree in the section Quercus sect. Ceres. It is the primary source of cork for wine bottle stoppers and other uses, such as cork flooring. The Quercus suber holds great importance in the economy of Portugal, especially the southern regions, the country being the largest producer of cork. In December 2011, after a petition signed by thousands of persons, the Quercus suber was declared national tree by the Portuguese National Assembly. The Garland Bar Salas is one of the most common emblems of Portugal. These pieces of craftsmanship, made in painted clay in the city of Barcelos, celebrate an old legend that tells the story of a dead rooster's miraculous intervention in proving the innocence of a man who had been falsely accused and sentenced to death. The dragon was used as the crest of the royal arms of Portugal since the 15th century. Later, 2 dragons were also used as supports of the arms of Portugal. Food and drink. A pastel de nata is a Portuguese egg tart pastry, very popular in Portugal and the Lusosphere. The bacalhau is one of Portugal's most recognizable and traditional foods. There are said to be over 1,000 recipes of bacalhau in Portugal. Port wine is a Portuguese fortified wine produced exclusively in the Douro Valley in the northern provinces of Portugal. It is typically a sweet red wine, often served as a dessert wine, though it also comes in dry, semi-dry, and white varieties. People. Luís de Camões is considered Portugal's and the Portuguese language's greatest poet. His date of death is celebrated as Portugal Day. Zé Acute Povinho is a Portuguese everyman created in 1875 by Rafael Bordalo Pinheiro. He became first a symbol of the Portuguese working class people and eventually into the unofficial personification of Portugal. dot dot